Hello, everyone, and welcome to Start to Finish for Citizen Sleeper. My name is Matt Bowyer. I don't know the number of this episode, so I'm checking because I've been sick. This is episode 15. This is episode 15, but more important than that, this is T minus 12. This is it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what happens after the flux event comes through. But I'm pretty sure this is what we need. Let's do it. I think, is this the only thing we have to do? I'm pretty sure this is the only event, the only thing that is left. Though I am going to check. I have another stabilizer. I remember that the stabilizer's got to see me through. I'm just checking on the Havanage to make sure that they don't need anything. And if they do, if I can just set fire to something instead. They do not. We got one place. Wait, hang on. Time to make food. Back in business, baby. We've got good dice to start. Let's see how far they carry me through. The sooner we get this done, the better. Because this is just, we have to find out a plan. This isn't make the plan happen. This is just make the plan. Which we have an outside shot of doing today. Oh, baby. Eek beckons you over the wide mess table where they have set up a terminal. The hours of bleary-eyed work have left you both drained, and Peak looks ready to collapse. It has been a hell of a 12-hour bender. You slide onto the curved couch beside them, something dark and malevolent filling their screen like an oil stain. I'm sick of looking at this thing. Look again. Peak's eyes seem to glitter in the screen light. This isn't what you think, Sleeper. Not by a long shot. You look again at the screen, leaning in close to the dark, curved shape to see its texture. You see whorls and currents like a river. A dark flow unlike the Shadow Protocol's dark tangle. You know exactly what this is. You have swum in this river, almost drowned in its shifting flow. It is the Gardener's Chorus, the dark cloud which blankets the Greenway's networks. The bioorganic morass of a malfunctioning protocol grown vast and strange. Gardener. Have you met them? I have. Incredible. Then perhaps you won't be surprised by what I'm about to propose. Everything I have tried to do to contain the Shadow Protocol has been a failure. It slips through any containment and absorbs any countermeasure. That, unfortunately, is an unavoidable fact. And yet the eye still spins. The Shadow Protocol is being slowed, partially contained. It has spread across the station, as we have seen, but in reduced pockets, in fragments. So I started to look outside of our test cases, outside of these fragments we have been poking and prodding in our little lab. And look what I found. Peak taps a key on their terminal and you realize the screen is showing a recording of the data flow inside the eye's networks, sampled from hundreds of points around the Greenway. You watch as a subtle shift occurs at the edge of the flowing dark curve that blankets the Greenway. Something spreading like an ink stain. Somehow darker than black it bleeds across. The Shadow Protocol. Now watch. Peak eagerly points at the screen. You see something strange, a fizzing at the edge of the shadow, a sparking, and then it is gone. And beneath, for a moment, a millisecond, you see into the networks of the Greenway. You are reminded of an image you had forgotten, of pulling a plant from its pot and seeing a bone-white root ball where you expected to see dark soil. The white connections writhe like worms. I don't like that image. And then it is gone, the dark flow closing up as quickly as it opened. Dissolved the shadow. Exactly. It protected itself. You think back to your meeting with the gardener, to that sense of something old and world, and inhuman to its core. Peak excitedly starts to explain. This is the only chance we have, the only countermeasure we have seen. In the moment it opened, I detected something, a centralized intelligence with a local ID gardener. This protocol, this system, whatever it is, can protect its network from the shadow protocol. We gotta build a community at every level. But if it stays in the Greenway, the eye will still fall. The station systems are too exposed, too spread across the hub, the shipyards, and the spokes. The only way is to break it open, to spread the entity's network access, The only way is to break it open, to spread the entity's network across it, to expand it somehow. I've been inside there, Peak. And this gardener, can they help us? I wish I'd known about this, Peak. I could go interface with it, Peak. It said I only get one shot. You try to remember what that strange being said to you, but all you remember is the feeling of dissolving into that network, the heady mix of growth and decay, the ceaselessness of it. Would they protect the station, or would they simply dissolve it? They might. I legitimately think they might. Peak stands up and walks away a little. They lean against the countertop, their head hanging so low that their long hair touches the work surface. You hear them breathing deeply. I don't know, Sleeper. I really don't know. You know as well as Peak that this is it. You know it because over the past cycles you have run every simulation, every possibility you could think of and still come up with nothing. You have stared a hole into your screen and dreamt of that black shadow, creeping in at the edges of your vision. Peak recognizes the look in your eyes, potent cocktail of resignation and anger. Let's say we do this. What do we need? I suppose we need to do two things. Find a way to limit or control the gardener's spread, and then reconnect the Greenway. Controlling the spread means preparing the station. Limit the gardener's network to key systems. We don't want it taking everything. We just need it to protect the station's core functionality. Then we need to reconnect the Greenway, hook it back up to the main line of the network. Those systems we prepared, they should connect, and Gardner will spread along the paths we prepared. At least that is my theory. But if we don't prepare correctly, the Gardner might not spread, or it might spread to everything. And after that, things might get worse. That's the risk. I don't want to know the answer to this one. I don't want to be told I'm wrong. One hell of a risk. Peak sits back at the terminal and brings up a map of the eye. Rotational control at the hub. Life support at the free spoke. Power routing at the Havanach shipyards. They stab at the map with each one, marking them in red. Then there's the central core. As I understand it is somewhere on the rim. I'd need to find it. I might know where that is. Is that where... I might know where that is. Where we found Killer, right? Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. We seed the gardener in all these places. But how are we going to do that? Transplant the greenway. Of course, the gardener needs plants to care for. That is what their protocol dictates. They must have been part of the farming management systems of the Eye back when Solheim built it. We seed greenway plants into those systems and the gardener will seek them out and protect them. It's a wild idea, but it could work. Y'all, I'm gonna need more spores. But we'll need a way into those systems. Havanage have most of them locked down for safety purposes. We can't just walk in. I know a guy. Someone in the Havanage systems team? You nod. After everything he put you through, you feel like Fang still owes you. Time to pay him a visit. Okay, well, I guess we should pay him a visit. Lead the way. You both leave the ship, carried forward by the excitement of the plan and an eagerness to not look at the details too closely. I feel very seen. You push any lingering questions to the back of your mind. Time to head to Fang's Bay. Ooh, boy. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Crimes. Bang, would you like to do some crimes? Bang. 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 I'm so mad right now. So mad right now. Bang, why are you making me roll dice to find you, you piece of garbage? I'm gonna feed my cat. That might not do anything for me, but it does do one thing, and it makes me really happy. Oh god, this is my last one. I almost forgot to use it. There we go. Firefox just yelled at me in the chat to make sure I used it. Okay, okay, okay. Those are alright. That'll carry me part of the way there. Bang. Bang. Oh, you're gonna make me use all of these dice today to find you. Why would you do this to me? Rerolling. You piece of garbage. Oh my god. What a horrible run of luck. Oh my word. I probably deserved that after all the after all the sixes I kept pulling. I would believe them if they said, hey, we cooked that to make you just get aggravated at Fang. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. This is... I cannot believe I burned a day not finding you. Alright, well, I got him this time. Use the 4. I really just sleep anywhere, don't I? Actually, use the 3. This is guaranteed now. Oh, you... That's it. No more wasting time. He sighs and pulls out their slate. They crack open a box on the side of the bay's shutter and wire the slate to what's inside. Maybe your friend has a Havanage pass card or something inside. Something they wouldn't mind if we borrow. Fine, but be quick. Going as quick as I can. After a few tense moments, the shutter jerks and begins grinding open, the noise making you jump. Let's get inside, quickly. You slip into the dark of the bay, punctuated by the blinking lights of Fang's piles of servers, somehow even more disordered than before. Peek makes a beeline for the desk at the center, scattered with tools and components. They flick on a lamp and stare at the mess. Are you sure this person can help us? Yes, we're gonna have to communicate with them how important it is, but yes. You are interrupted by the sound of footsteps from the entrance. Someone has come in behind you. Peek freezes. I could swear I closed this shutter when I left. Must be getting forgetful. Sloppy. I'm the one who makes the joke, Sleeper. Don't start. That's my one meme reference I'll ever make in my life. Enjoy it. Thought you'd come rob an old friend. Is that the plan? Where have you been? I have a feeling you know that already. I've been investigating that event which hit the station several cycles back. I've heard it called the Flux. That's why we are here. I guessed as much. I saw changes in the old system architectures almost immediately. Some of them had been running since the first days of the station, and so when I saw new patterns and shifts in logic, I knew something must have happened. These past cycles, I've been doing a total inventory of the core systems, from the hub to the rim. I surprised myself, to be honest. I didn't think I had it in me. And what did you find? That's the thing. There's something all twisted up in the systems and protocols, but every time I look at it, it disappears. Do they always do that? It's a shadow protocol. It masks itself somehow, bedding into the gaps between the systems in the negative space. It is slowly filling every system in the station, slowly taking over, and we need to stop it. You need to grant us access to all the core systems of the station, rotational control, life support. Whoa, slow down there. I don't even know your name. And you are asking for the keys to the castle? Can't be done. Bang, it's me. How long have you known this one, Sleeper? I know I owe you, but I also know that you trust too easily. Sorry to say it. He's right. Damn it. I can vouch for myself. That's not how that works. No, it's cool. I'm good for it. I came to the Eye on the Run from the XBR colony Hawthorne with the intent to keep running until we hit the Starward Belt. But since I have been here, I have done everything in my power to protect this place. I have helped to stabilize the refugee flotilla, to investigate the flux, to identify and make a plan to purge the Shadow Protocol from the station's systems. Meanwhile, Havanash has done everything to stop and slow these actions. I have proven myself as a friend to the people of this station, not the administration, many times over, and I will not be doubted by someone who wears the badge of this corrupt administration. This is all I have in my wardrobe. Look, I have no love for the council either, friend, but someone has to run this place, and that someone is me. Fang walks over to the workbench where you are both standing and digs a slate out of the pile of tools. You want to prove yourself? Show me. Don't make me roll any more dice. Peek grabs the slate and you recognize the tangled form of a flux node on the screen. Peek immediately starts tapping away at it, its tendrils unwinding, and the shadow, just slightly delayed, slipping out of sight. Interesting. Before long, Peek has unfolded the system completely, and it lies splayed out like an unwound ball of string. At the center, with nowhere left to hide, is the dark stain of the Shadow Protocol, visible for all to see. What now? How do you kill it? There's one entity on the station that we have seen purging the shadow. The Gardener. Who's that? Some Greenway hacker? More like an avatar of the Greenway itself. You explain the gardener to Fang, the feeling of descending into the flowing river of consciousnesses. You explain the networked chorus, the non-human collective of voices. You tell him of the farming AI's offer to you, to be networked into the chorus, dissolved in its flow. Then you explain by granting it access to the Eye's major networks, you hope to reinforce them. Fang is silent for a moment. You want to let this thing out? It's the kind of stupid plan I'd dream up. I like it. This place is rammed with weird protocols and forgotten intelligences anyway. What's one more ghost in the machine? We'd try to limit it, of course. That's why we want your help to access the Eye's major systems, to seed some of the gardener's spores into them, to draw the gardener's focus to those places. So the way we save the Eye is by growing mushrooms in all the server stacks? Sleeper, congratulations. You found someone weirder than you. Pete goes to argue, but Fang holds up a hand. In it is an all-systems Havanage pass card with his picture on it. Take it, before I change my mind. Thank you. Don't mention it. In all honesty, Sleeper, I was on my way back here to start tearing the place down. The Shadow Protocol had me spooked. So if you were telling me you have figured a way we might fight it, no matter how crazy, then I'm glad to help. Come with us. I need a posse. I need a tank. No, Sleeper. I have to keep on with my work here. Strengthen those systems, back up the data. Worst comes to worst, I'll need to rebuild. I won't let this place die. The last pieces of my parents are here, among the data. Bye, Fang. Stay safe, Sleeper. You take the card and leave the bay with Peak. Once you are outside, they stop you. We should split up. We've wasted enough time as it is. Oh, God, yes. Head to the facilities in the hub, the Free Spoke, and the far side of the shipyard, and seed the gardener there. I'm going to find the core control center that's somewhere on the rim. I'll send you a message on your slate when I have something. Good luck. They squeeze your shoulder, and you exchange fearful looks. You know deep down that Peak isn't sure this will work, but they have decided to act, to move with confidence, and for that confidence, you are very thankful. Okay, okay. This is it. Why so many spores? Why so many spores? This is gonna take forever. It's fine. It's fine. Spores. Spores. I should have stocked up before. Okay. All right. Here we go. 3 dice of spores. 1 down. Two down. I hate you. Do it anyway. Ow. It's fine. It's fine. What was I gonna do? Not? What we had. You re-roll the one, and you roll. I'm not gonna go hack some data at this point. What point does that serve? I'm gonna go make some mushrooms, mind you. Did I forget how to play this game in the interim? What's wrong with me? Alright. Spores, spores, spores. Oh. Crud. I don't need this many spores. It's fine. I have extra spores now. Or a thing that I could do somewhere, maybe, possibly, probably not. Dang it. It was just 6. I thought I was 3 at each one. Should have paid more attention. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I think I need to go up here, right? Up, up, up. Dang it. As you leave, the slate Pete gave you chirps insistently. You check and see a message. Found a possible entry to the core facility in the low end. Meet me here, ASAP. Peak. A blinking marker gives their position as on the free spoke side of the main block. Better head to the low end. Sorry. I'm never going to speak to you again, apparently. Bliss. Peak! I blew all my dice. You arrive at the coordinates given by Peak's slate, a run-down but active corner of the low end, where a short, glass-roofed alley turns off from one of the main thoroughfares. You wait in the mouth of the alley, leaning against the wall and watching the street life go by. Children hop across grids scratched into metal floor plates, playing games of their own devising, while older residents sit and talk or play tabla. It is hard to believe that all this is a threat. It seems so concrete, so real. How can some intangible protocol erase all this? As you are watching, a voice calls out to you from one of the tabla tables set up along the way. You move a little closer and recognize the sitting player immediately. Castor sits, tabla pieces and board ready in front of him, smiling at you. Sleeper, I don't remember the voice you gave me originally. My partner has not arrived for our usual game. Come, please, take her place. He beckons you over, standing and nudging you to sit down with him. A rematch is in order. You owe me a game. Almost immediately, Castor begins the game. Everyone on the Eye knows how to play tabla. The methodical movement of the counters across their triangular points a ready fit for the rhythm of life on the ramshackle space station. Most games begin in the same way, with each player moving with independence, focused only on achieving their optimal early game setup. But there is a moment in each game where it becomes necessary to notice the other player, to anticipate the crossing of the counters across the board. A point of contact, when routine becomes negotiation, and negotiation becomes conflict. As this moment arrives, this subtle shift in the texture of the interaction, Astor begins to speak. Find myself surprised by you, continually, Sleeper. The way you conduct yourself, for example, suggests an anxious refrain, a defensive, protective quality. But in your Tavla game, I see only risk. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Risk, Sleeper. I'm talking about risk. You only enjoyed the 2210 AD version of the game because it let you nuke the moon. Risk is, of course, necessary to play Tabla. Pieces, you combine them. Or to move a piece is to expose it, but it should be done with calculation, with proper analysis. Then, if the piece is taken, Astor moves a counter, taking one of yours with a practice swap, placing it beside the board. It is already accounted for. But you move forward with abandon, as if risk was just a secondary effect of action, a consequence, not its primary guide, a cause. I play my way. Indeed, that is all I seek. This locks you into being reactive, if you don't mind me saying so. You are responding, which means you are being led. He leans back to consider the board. This place, it mirrors you, Sleeper. It is also reactive. It was born from a crisis, the collapse of Solheim, and ever since it has been reacting without any central guiding principle. No analysis, no calculation. Just look at our refugee crisis, for example. It is all reaction, all risk-taking, and little risk calculation. At first I found the chaos enlivening, especially when trying to track its outcomes, but now I find it exhausting. It always amuses me that this place is literally spun from the rim. Below this very stack of habitation blocks is the most important control facility on the Eye. Spun from the rim. What better metaphor could you find for disorder? But why am I telling you that? That facility is precisely why you are here. You feel a shiver through your body, as if something has changed in the air. What is this? No words come out of your mouth. You feel removed from yourself, watching from behind frosted glass. Your eyes dart side to side. Inertia sets in. Castor is still smiling. The risk you are planning to take here, Sleeper, is not yours to take. Castor's tone is unshifted. He speaks as if this is still some casual conversation between passing acquaintances. You are leaping towards a chaotic outcome with no respect for risk. You see, calculating outcomes, that's my specialty. That's why I am here. I was hired as a conduit for risk, as a collector of data that might pertain to its arrival. He removes his glasses to clean them, and you see something flicker across their surface, a shimmering stream of characters. This system, this station, is already theirs. Solheim's collapse meant a corporate fire sale. Assets changed hands. My employers, Senatestat, bought out the entire system, and for the past decades have been its one valid owner. But to possess this system, the H1 system, Helion, to you, well, that is a matter of risk. Of how much force, how much cost, how much conflict a clearance would take. That risk must be calculated against the favorable outcome. In short, how much is this place worth to us? For a long time, the answer was nothing. H1 could offer nothing that would warrant the risk. But the markets change, the demands shift, and Senatestat, we analyze, we follow, we respond. H1 is about to become the most important system in this part of the galaxy. The lone CAN channel operating within a range of 7 or so newly surveyed resource-rich systems. The frontier town that feeds the gold rush, so to speak. So, we are here, reevaluating the risk, reclaiming our property, starting up the CAN channel and clearing the way for what comes next. He sits back, looking at the board. He gestures. Your move. Take my move. You go to lift a piece and something glints across Castor's glasses. You feel the slowness, the inertia begin to lessen. You move your piece, taking one of Castor's exposed counters. He nods. Of course, I do not need to explain myself to you. But in the role as an analyst, in my calculations, I see great promise in you, in your ability to enter systems, to shift them to your will. Not every sleeper has this capacity, I assume you know that? It is truly a wonderful happenstance of SNARP's technology. I imagine even they are not fully aware of it. He takes his move, claiming another of your pieces, and as you watch, you realize the inevitability of his victory. I will make you an offer, to come willingly or come by force. This station will collapse, we can be sure of that, but your ability to work with data, well, for an analyst, that is very intriguing. Very intriguing indeed. Peek, I need you to break his glasses over his head. He glances around. Come with me as a collaborator or as a prisoner. Consider the risk. On one hand, almost certain death. On the other, a possible future. Analyst or not, you must see it. Speak now, Sleeper. The game is forfeit. You must see that. He holds out a hand. You are of value. You are needed. You feel a slight release in the inertia that grips you, enough to allow you to speak, to respond. You realize that you are already in Castor's hands, that you cannot move from this place if you wanted. Sleeper? You hear the familiar voice above the crowds. Sleeper, I'm here. You are unable to turn your head to see Peak, but you notice Castor's eyes following them as they come up from behind you. Then you see Castor's eyes glance down, towards his hands concealed beneath the table. Sleeper! Peak comes around the front of you and waves a hand in your face. We were supposed to be meeting, remember? Oh, sorry, am I interrupting something? You cannot speak. Castor shoots Peak a wide smile. Hello, you must be a friend of Sleeper. You watch one of his hands lift, close to his body, some dark shape concealed in it. A weapon. You try to scream, to shout, but Castor's attention remains partially on you, and while it does, you can do nothing. Peak glances at your static form. What's happening here? Sleeper. They put a hand on your shoulder. Are you okay? As Peak stares into your eyes, you see Castor behind, his hand lifting, the dark object unfolding. And in the split moment it does, you feel his attention shifting to Peak, shifting away from you. As you do, you feel the inertia lifting, and you know this is the only moment you will have to act. Go. You lurch forward wildly like a sprung trap. Your head strikes Peak's chest and then carries them back into Castor. Somewhere, some digital screech is echoing through the walkway. They tumble together, and the object in Castor's hand skitters across the floor. You realize the screech is you. You get to your feet, grab Peak, and run. You run as hard as you can, the scream chasing you down the walkway as you shove through the residence, Peak dragged behind. You run from the cold grip of whatever power Castor had over you, the signals that locked you into this body of yours, that broke the connections and crawled up your spine. Eventually you stop, both you and Peak collapsing, heaving, breathing into the cold metal floor. When they are able to speak, Peak asks you to explain, and you tell them everything Castor told you. About Senetstat, about their claim on the Helion system, their reactivation of the CAN channel, the Helion system's growing importance. It flows out of you in desperate gulps, unable to believe your own mouth as you hear these words coming back to you. All you feel is the need to push back against the cold hand on your shoulder, the vast cold eye that has turned to look at this system, the ghost limbs of corporate control that are extending their reach. Peak is quiet for a long time. Then they speak. We have to finish this, Sleeper. We have to complete the seeding of the systems. We have to set Gardner free. If the choice is between Gardner and these people, I will choose Gardner every time. I would choose anything over them. You stand together. The final control facility is here. I found it. I can take you as soon as you are ready. Time's almost up. This is the only shot you'll have. What do I need? I need dice. 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 So I shall have them. I sleeping in my new house. The only chance we'll ever have. So we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it with a bunch of twos. Twos and threes. Ho 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 ho! There's a set of dice, baby. Woo! Alright. Oh, I don't have anything. I don't have a final meal. Emphas. Emphas. I need some spice with road, Emphas. Thank you. Oh god, here we go. Why are these both +2? Actually, like, this one's going to be faster. Because it's more dangerous. But it's both +2s. Or that's +1. It's a +2 up here. I don't know. Anyway, let's just do this. Everything else will go into it. Is that is just 50%, 50%. This 100%. That's nice. We will not be able to finish this cycle, but we have come very close. We will finish it next cycle. Uh-oh. Sleeper, here. Pete calls to you from across the flickering corridor. An elevator to the core. This is it. It has been a long set of cycles hunting for a path through the derelict layers of old Solheim offices and workshops, but finally, here it is, the path down to the core. You rush over to Peek. As you do, the doors grind open, the dingy-looking elevator flickering as they do. You look at Peek, who nervously gestures for you to get in. In I go. The elevator bounces a little but stays stable. You glance back to see Peek watching you nervously. They follow you in, sheepishly. Just a little nervous. Peek reaches over and punches the button for the lowest level, flinching a little as the doors grind closed. The elevator sets off, screeching through the floors as it does at an unsettlingly loud volume. Why were there so many consonants with similar patterns? I'd feel more comfortable if we spoke. It's not going to be a short trip. How's Ash? I was thinking more like small talk, elevator talk, like in the loading screens in Mass Effect. She is hacking. Once Ash has set her mind on something, well, you know her now. You know what I mean. The screeching in the elevator fills the silence. Will you leave with her? I don't know, Sleeper. I honestly don't know. Part of me wants to run, to keep running for as long as I can. I am used to that. But another part is done with that, is done with denying my past, my history. If I ever want to feel complete, to feel settled, don't I need to somehow resolve the person I was with the person I am now? Pete goes quiet, and you do too. There are too many possible questions, too many possibilities before you. It just seems easier to get on with the task at hand and leave the consequences for later. The elevator screams to a stop and the doors ping open with a strangely cheerful beep. You glance at Peek. Time to move on. You both walk out into an atrium, still lit by some ragged-looking light panels on the ceiling, once simulating a summer sky, now degraded into a flickering blue and white tapestry of glitches. Pete crosses quickly, making a beeline for the large doors on the far side, where you can make out a fading sign in massive peeling letters. Central Control. You follow, helping them lever open the partially powered doors until the motors kick in and they spring to life, thudding open. You and Peek tumble through, across the damp metal. As you stand, you are greeted by flickering lights, thousands of them. A vast cylindrical stack of servers, processors, and transmitters dominates the center of the room, its flickering LEDs reflected in the scattered puddles that surround it. Despite the decay, the warped panels, and water leaks, it is still running, just as it has for decades and decades, since the station was first spun up. You wonder how long it has been since anyone has been in this room. You exchange wide-eyed looks with Peek. This place is a still living piece of history. Ow. Peek takes a handful of mulch out from a small bag. It glitters with spores. Now we seed this place. They cross to the server and start packing the mulch deep into the machinery, pushing fistfuls deep into gaps in the paneling, laying it across hardware. As you watch them doing this, you feel a tug, a thread pulling at you. You approach the vast piece of cylindrical hardware that Peek is stuffing mulch into. You run your hands across its plated metal surface and watch the lights blink in response. As you pass, you hear a whirring, like a physical disk drive starting up. Listen. The whirring shifts alternating, speeding up, slowing down, and as you listen, you hear it modulate into a voice. Sleeper, you freeze. You are here. For a moment, you are afraid, but something in the tonality of the voice is familiar. I am punching the air. Navigator! Another drive spins up, and another, giving the voice a richer, multi-tonal sound. I had forgotten what it felt like to speak like this. There is a certain quality to it, a certain physicality. What are you doing here, buddy? The drives squawk in unison. Did you imagine the flux, the shadow protocol, that they were just a problem for the people of the station? They are all the more dangerous to us. I have been in hiding once more, jumping from network to network to avoid the shadow as it eats up nodes. I had thought my hiding days were done. For the moment, I have found myself a safe haven here in the core. The shadow has yet to breach this facility, although that is a temporary state of affairs. My predictions do not point to good outcomes. That's why we're here! You explained to Navigator about Peek's plan, about Gardner's resistance to the shadow, and how by seeding key systems you will protect them from its advance. The drives hum thoughtfully as you speak. A desperate plan, the drives were, but appropriate given the probability of a total collapse. I am not sure what will be worse for us, hiding from the erasure of the Shadow Protocol or the assimilation of Gardner. But we owe you our freedom. I will do what I can to guide the Gardner into the systems you have seeded. It is correct to do so. Thank you. The drives squeak in affirmation. You have notable persistence, Sleeper, even with such poor probabilities of success. I will be curious to see the outcome. The drives squeal, the motors giving out. This cannot be sustained much longer. Go. I'll be fine. Final squeak of affirmation, and then the drives skitter and slow to a halt. You step back from the towering cylinder, staring at this vast piece of Solheim hardware. This whole place is built from ghosts, you think, from old protocols and company hardware, from engines that drove decades of corporate expansion. Is the eye proof that they can be shifted, bent, and forced into new configurations that allow for new ways of living? Or is its inevitable collapse proof that these engines of expansion can never be anything other than a corrupt foundation? It seems to depend on who you ask. Done! The heat and damp should help the spores germinate quickly. If we are lucky, there is enough time for some growth before we reconnect the Greenway. That's it. All the facilities seeded. We either just ensured the eye's survival or stuffed a whole lot of soil into one of its most important computers. Shall we go? You wait for a moment, following the blinking lights. You wonder what might be tucked away in such a structure, what secrets it might hold, what histories. It's an intriguing prospect, but while you watch the lights, you realize something. If the Eye is to become anything more than an offshoot, a temporary structure, it must form its own history, its own stories, stronger than anything that came before. Unlocking these Solheim secrets won't do that, but the persistence, the stubborn drive to survive that is in the veins of every person in this place, that will. And that is what you are trying to save. You turn your back on the core and follow Peak back into the elevator. As you ride the car back up, Peak raises their voice over the screeching. I'm going to the Founder's Gap to finalize the connection. The moment I'm ready, I'll let you know and we let the gardener out. The sooner the better. If we wait until the final cycle, it'll be too late. If you want to help speed things up, go work with the flotilla. We can't make the connection until we know they are ready to go. Unleashing Gardner could affect them too if we aren't careful. What happens then? I don't honestly know. Maybe Gardner takes over the station. Maybe they don't even react. I can't think about it any longer. You ride the rest of the way in silence. When you reach the top, you go your separate ways. But before you do, Peak embraces you, burying their face in your shoulder. You stand there together for a moment, spinning with the Eye, moving relentlessly towards an unknown future. And then they let go and slip away, the pressure of their hug fading like a bruise as you begin to leave. Oh, you telling me I gotta do this too? Crab apples. I gotta do both. You gotta always do both. Can't not do both. You gotta do both. If you're not doing both or even playing, you're not helping everybody. Is this even Citizen Sleeper anymore? Oh god, what do you people need? I'm so afraid. Oh, engineering actions. That's good for me. Bet you'll probably need more after that too. Do you need any materials? Or am I good to put those scrap components into my elbows? Let me tell you what I'm about to do. Into the dorm. Got energy. I've got self-repair. I have a third point, meaning I have an interface +2. Hot dog. Let's sleep. I've still got some time. They can't find me here. That's incorrect. Yeah, that's not bad. Just in case I need another one, maybe I'll get something. Let's get that going. I've still got 2 spores for, you know, Christmas morning. Oh, engage is what gets me extra things. So I actually do want to put all of these over into here. I need scrap components, please. That was not a scrap component. That one was. Thank you. Ow. Oh, no. Ah, halfway made something happen. As you stop to rest in one of the Pilgrim Seed's cavernous bays, hopping up to sit on a supply crate, you hear a now familiar voice behind you. Sleeper, glad you are here. Soul's suit hisses as he clanks up towards you. I knew you'd help us out. Sure do appreciate everything you do for us. You building up to something? See, that's what I like about you, Sleeper. Straight to the point. No messing. Seems the word got out this way or that. We've had people flowing in from the Eye, looking for a place. In truth, it's more than I thought. which means more mouths to feed, more bodies to house, more people to protect. It's good, right? Good for those that can get a place, maybe. None of this is good for anyone. We were supposed to stay here, not keep running. Don't listen to me. Just tired old man. I have something to ask, though. What is it? With all these evacuees, well, we need a change in plan. Pilgrim Seed can't do it alone. We need the others to help out. We can carry them, house them, but that's all. Now, you settled down the folks from Member Step, and they sent us supplies grown in their dust houses of theirs. We could get more. And then the song crews. What we need from them is scouting and security. We don't need that docking access of theirs, but with some careful scavenging, they could be our fleet. These folks, they know you, Sleeper. You earned their trust already. I sent my request out as I placed my hand on your shoulder here, and they seem to be complying, as I have my hand on your shoulder here. But I need you out there with that shoulder of yours, making sure the work gets done. Time is our greatest enemy now. I need you out there speeding things up. Of course. Why not? All time in the world. All right, then. Think of it this way. Either way, you won't have to deal with me much longer. Unless, of course, you were planning to come along for the trip. I'm staying. I understand. Soul waves a hand and starts off towards the bay's entrance, the crackling sound of the welding quickly covering up his clanking suit. You watch the workers, the shipyard contractor chatting among them, already looking like he belongs. You push the thoughts of escape, of home, and of the future to the back of your mind and get up. There's always more to do. Better head to the other ships in the flotilla, see what can be done. I'm gonna check on them later. Right now, I'm gonna reroll these dice. They are not good. Gonna go over to Memphis. Get some food since I knocked myself down to 4 dice, which is bad. Not thrilled about it. Not really much I can do about that right now, though. But it's bad. I wonder how differently stuff can go based on the people you're hanging with. If I'd had protection, if I'd actually paid what's his ass for protection, would he have just like shot Castor? Probably not, right? Like, he just seems like he was terrible. Oh, it's good. That's a good one. Please don't take my condition away. I can't look. That was a bad sound. Yep, that was a bad one. Complete active scenes. Oh, I do need to talk to people. Well, I'm out of time. I will do this. No, I need to see what it says I need to do. So, tomorrow, talk to Aki and Peter. How close are we? I don't have any more. This is stressful. They did say to do this in the end game. That's good, because that's where I am. Oh, God. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. I will see you all next time. Bye.